Hi, it's Paris from Epic Reviews, here with the As Seen on TV Light Angel. This is a battery-powered, basically a stick-up light, sort of one step up from those that you put in your closet where you have to turn them on and off when you go into the closet. This one has a motion detector built into it, so you can put it outside, like in the driveway, in a walkway, in the backyard, someplace that you would like the light to come on when there's some activity going on, but you'd like the light to be off the rest of the time. So in this review, I'm going to try to answer 3 questions. One is, does it actually work? Does the motion detector actually detect motion, and how close do you have to be? If you got to be 2 feet in front of it waving your hand to get the light to turn on, that's not so good. I'd like to be able to put it under the eave in the driveway and have it light up as the car pulls in the driveway, or if somebody's being dropped off and they're walking down the driveway, I'd like it to light up, so I'm going to test that out. Number 2 is, does it make enough light to make it worthwhile? You may already have the neighborhood street light and some neighbors with their lights on, so it has to make a significant amount of light to really light up the walkway, any uneven steps, rocks, and so forth, to make it useful. And then number 3, it's battery powered. It takes 4 AA batteries. How long is that going to last? Because a motion detector uses electricity all of the time. And if it, in average use, if you need to go up and replace the batteries in this every week, then I think it may not be worthwhile. If it lasts a month or longer, then I think that might be acceptable. I picked this up over at the Walgreens, their As Seen on TV department. Now these are selling out really fast, so in some places I've heard they're hard to get a hold of, so I'll put a link down below if you'd like to check them out online. I'm going to open up the box, see what's inside, then go out and get some video of me installing it. And then tonight when it gets dark, I'll actually try walking around in front of it, taking the car in and out of the garage, and see what happens there. As for the longevity part of it, I'll just have to do a follow-up video when the batteries go out, and I'll let you know how long those batteries lasted. But for now, let's start with what's in the box. It does say on the box that it's an indoor-outdoor light, so it should be okay in some kinds of weather. I don't know if you actually put it out where the rain's pouring down on it, how it will do. Not a whole lot included, but it all looks pretty simple. There's a piece of double-sided tape. There are the instructions that are just these 2 little pages. There's not a whole lot to that. And the device itself, it does pivot. And on the bottom here, there's the outline of where you put that double-sided tape. Now it does have holes that you could put 3 good-sized screws into where you're going to attach it, and then sort of slide it and catch it onto that. If you want to get a few more tools out of the toolbox, I'll zoom in and show it to you here. There are 7 LED bulbs behind this yellow sticker, and then the little ball-shaped thing down at the bottom. Here's the motion detector. So I think the idea is that you would mount it that way or that way, and do that with it, because if you mount it this way and you do this, obviously the motion detector isn't going to sense anything. And on the back, there's a screw holding in the battery cover. Again, it takes 4 AA batteries. And it does have an on-off switch here, so it's something if you needed to turn it on when you're going to have a party or a particular weekend, a lot of people would be coming and going, you could turn it on, turn it off the rest of the time. That will turn off the motion detector, won't be using any electricity until you turn it on again. All right, I'm going to attach the double-sided tape here. I'm going to mount it right up there so that the sensor will cover this area of the walkway and the driveway. One thing I did notice is even though it's attached now with the tape, you can still swivel it. That's kind of handy. The other thing is, I put the batteries in. At first I thought it didn't work, and that's what that big yellow sticker on the front of it was about, saying it only works in the dark. So it turns out there's a light sensor and a motion sensor. The light sensor checks, and if it's light out, it disables the motion detector because the light sensor uses much less electricity. So when it's light out, there's no way you can get the light to come on. Once it gets dark enough, then the motion detector will turn the light on once there is some motion. I also timed it, and it looks like it stays on for about 45 seconds after it's been activated. There's no way to change the amount of time it stays on, but if you do stay in front of it and continue moving, it does continue lighting up. Okay, coming from the street here, walking right towards the light, about 25-30 feet away, nothing yet going on. 20 feet, 15 feet. Okay, I would say it's probably about 10 feet to the light to my head, so I had to get that close to activate it. But the light seems to be illuminating this area here, so coming in from the street, it's actually illuminating where I've been. There's really not that much light where I'm going, but if I were coming out of the house, it would be good because it would be illuminating my path. And so long as I'm around here, it will stay lit, so that's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to try the car now. I'm going to park it out on the street till the light goes off. That's about 45 seconds it'll stay on. Once there stops being any motion, I'll pull the car in and see how it lights up. Well, it's interesting, the light actually came on while I was still out on the street practically, just as I started turning in. So obviously the size of the object that's moving determines the distance you can go and get that motion detector to activate. And then here is the light angel. And if you look down here on the ground, compare, you can sort of see the shadow line there. That's what compact fluorescent's putting out. And over here, this bluish light, yeah, there's the compact fluorescent, that's turned off. So this is what you're getting with the light angel. It's light enough, but it's bluish for one thing, as you can see, and it's really not comparable to that compact fluorescent. Question is it enough light? So I'm a little bit torn about the light angel. It does what it says it's going to do. It does provide the light. The motion sensor does work, but there's not quite as much light as I'd like. And the motion sensor, though it's really good with large objects like a car coming into the driveway, with just me walking along, it seemed like I had to get awfully close to activate it. So if it's something like just the front porch, the back steps of a house, something like that, I think it could work pretty well for that. But if you're trying to illuminate a larger area, I don't know how good a job it would do for that. Now the other thing that I realized I mentioned here on the side is, of course, you can use it inside as well. One thing I thought was really clever about this is motion detector uses a fair amount of electricity, but the little photovoltaic eye that senses whether it's light or dark doesn't really use much power. So they use that sensor to see if it's light or dark, and they keep the motion sensor off until it's actually dark. So it actually, I think this is going to last a while on the batteries that I have in it. Now they do show that you can use it indoors, and of course you could put it in a closet instead of one of those stick-up lights. But I think if it's in a room that's dark all the time, the motion sensor activated all the time, that may go through the batteries fairly quickly. But I've got it stuck up above my garage for now, so I'm going to leave it out there, and just with our regular comings and goings, I'll see how long it takes before the battery wears out, and I will put up a follow-up then to let you know how long in average use outside it can last. And again, if you're interested in it, if you think it would work in your situation but they're sold out in your neighborhood, I'll have that link down below. You can check it out online.